You should now be able to have your first video in Node where your character is moving around and there's a shadow on the ground and the stage is set. Now we're going to start with the essential effects for the background. We have some lighting effects that we do need to put in the background to enhance our video. The first effect that I always use for the background usually is the bling effect. You go to the plus button on the background video, click the white plus button, go to Asset Store, and in that same menu, click bling. You can increase the intensity, amount, size, however you would like it. I choose the F2 bling and then I make it on add blend mode. So if your background video has any like lighting or just movement from the black flash from CapCut that we just put it into Node, you should see some bling moving. You can definitely decrease the value so it's not as hardcore. I recommend it for sure. Now our second lighting effect, we're going to go back to that white plus button and go back to Asset Store. In that same first menu, click at the bottom left kind of where it says rays. That's going to give you effect that rays are coming from the background of your video wherever there's light coming. If you don't see any rays when you do that, go to where it says threshold and bring the threshold farther down until you're satisfied with the amount of light that is being emanated into your background video. Using the center button at the top, both the left side will make your video or will make the rays go from left to right, and the right button will make the rays go from front to back. So you can use those, you can add keyframes on it so that the rays throughout the video move while your character is dancing, and just basically gives a bit more animation to your background. Now we are going to be doing our character. So click on the video, not the shadow video, but click on the video of your character dancing. And then go down underneath chroma key where the white plus button is, and then go to Asset Store. And then we're going to click in the bottom middle where it says Light Sweep. That light sweep effect is going to give us the effect that there's light on one side of the body and shadow on the other side of the body way harder than it does in light motion. It's pretty cool. Use the center buttons to move the light sweep accordingly. I like putting the light sweep above my character's head, but it's all up to your preference. I don't have any values to give you guys for Node. Everything that I do in Node just depends on how I feel for the video at the time being. So add the light sweep to your video. Use these center buttons to adjust it where you want it to go, and you can also decrease the intensity. You can change the tint color to help it match the background color of your video as well. That's what I usually do. In the light sweep menu, expand down where it says line and then go to where it says hardness. If you raise the level of hardness, your character will have more shadows on their body. So giving it, sometimes it's more necessary to do it depending on this setting that your character is being set in, where you need more shadows on the body. So you can just use the hardness option and increase the amount to give more shadows on your character's body. Now underneath that, I don't use the distortion menu. Then we're going to go down to where it says, the last menu that you can open and expand is where the spectacular is. And when you do the spectacular, you want it to be a very light color of the color that you want it to be. Don't make it fully pink because your character is going to be fully pink. You want to make it like almost the lightest fully pink that you can get because your character will still show as pink light. You can also raise the amount, you can also lower the amount of spectacular so that there is more reflection on your other sides of the body from the light. Okay, and on to keyframes, you guys. This is the last step of Node, well, the last basic step of Node. Now that you have your character in, the lighting is on them all nice, they look super pretty, you have the background lighting moving around and blinking and flickering and whatever it may be doing, you have the rays in the background emanating and moving around in the video. Now what we're going to do is add keyframes to the video so that there's movement within the video. Click on the group and then go to where it says position and rotation and click both of those directly. This will open up the keyframe menu for both the position and rotation values. At the beginning of the timeline, make a keyframe in both the position and rotation values so that your video, when you go back and watch it, doesn't start at a random angle because you didn't do this. I'm going to try my best to explain to you guys the use of keyframes and the best way to use them. If my character is doing something in the video where her hands go up, I can either move the camera towards the character and up to show exactly what she's doing for like a dance video, kind of just following what she's doing. Or if my character is moving her hands up, I can move the camera farther away from the character and down to give it more of a dramatic effect. So those are like the two simple things that you can do when it comes to you know, making your video in Node and making the camera movement, try and keep in mind if your character goes to one side, like if they're gonna rotate to one side, use the rotation keyframe to rotate the camera to that side as well. And if they go to the other side, use the rotation keyframe to rotate the camera to that side as well. Then bring it back to the middle and either zoom in or out from the character for more dramatic effect. It's really hard to explain, but I hope that you guys are able to understand where I'm coming from for this. I am going to try and post the video for you guys. Just none of me talking. I'm not going to be talking, just showing you guys how I set up the keyframes, and hopefully you guys can watch that and maybe like pick up from that, because it's really hard to explain how to do keyframes. Like just in general, to type it out or just to try to explain it to you guys, like this is something that I just kind of do and make it work. So, you know, but the second thing that comes with keyframes are keyframe graphs. So if you click on any of the keyframes at the very end of, you know, you placing all your keyframes, click at the top, there's going to be like this little swiggle thingy. It's in a little box right next to the timer button. Click that. That's going to be your curve editor. Now we have three different curves, or we have three different options for our curves. We have an in curve, we have an out curve, and we have a flow curve. The in curve is what you use if your keyframe is going into the next keyframe. So if your camera is moving in, use the in curve. If the camera is moving away from the camera, use the out curve. If your camera is rotating, use the flow curve. Again, I really hope that you guys are able to pick up on this. I'm not really able to explain it as much as in depth as I would like to for it to make sense for you guys. Now after that, you've added all the keyframes and all the graphs and everything. We're basically done. Dude. So go to where it says root, and then go to the bottom before it says export. There's this gray button that says 3D settings. Select that button. When you're in there, go to the bottom where it says motion blur, turn it on, and you can raise the amount of motion blur as much as you want. And then underneath it, there's something that says lighting. You can change the lighting to match the lighting background color of your video. I usually do that. Now click the export button and let the video save. Alright you guys, and with that being said, you should have been able to create your first 3D video in Node using the 3D Cube method. Let me know how you feel about using the app, and if my video or if my guide is able to help you guys navigate through using the app easier. I know a lot of my mentees have told me that they had tried Node before, but they weren't able to get a hang of it. So as you guys should know from my mentees, the assignment for this week is to make your first edit in NodeVideo. It doesn't have to be a long edit like the ones that I made in my account. Please don't. Just make like one dance video and just send it over to me. You know, try and do like one of these new challenge videos that they got going on right now. I don't know, like Dash or something that, you know, you can post onto your page. But I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. Bye.